Whether you're new to the industry and just received your authority, or have been working in it for years, either way, this question is always at the top of mind for freight brokers. How do you get customers? Well, in this video, we'll talk about getting customers as a freight broker and the processes you can put in place to do it over and over again. I'm Benjamin Kowalski with Freight 360, where we provide the latest transportation sales tips and training videos to help you reach your goals faster. All right, let's jump into it. How freight brokers get customers? It's also referred to as the act of prospecting, defined as the first step in the sales process, which consists of identifying potential customers, also known as prospects. The goal of prospecting is to develop a database of potential customers and then systematically communicate with them in the hopes of converting them from potential to active customers. Freight brokers use prospecting to expand the size of their sales funnel. They'll reach out to leads, potential shipper points of contact, and nurture them into opportunities, leads who have been warmed up over time. There are various sales prospecting techniques, from making calls to sending emails, going to trade shows, even connecting on LinkedIn. For each prospect you are going to speak with and try to build rapport with, you will also be simultaneously evaluating whether they are also a fit to be your customer. For instance, you should have your qualifying questions on hand to determine this as fast as possible. Remember, you'll have to go through hundreds of leads to bring on a few active customers. So weeding out the prospects is just as important as making progress with the qualified shippers. When I'm qualifying a prospect, they need to ship at least 25 full truckloads per week and are currently working with a broker or have at least worked with one in the past. That's enough for me to spend more time discussing their operations. And why is this the line, right? So why over 25 truckloads per week? Because that's about the capacity of one person or load planner, right, to be able to handle by themselves. As soon as you get above that line, when you start taking into consideration missed pickups and when carriers fall out or don't show up, they'll need a brokerage's flexibility to maintain a decent on-time percentage for their customers. Okay, so let's say you're on a prospecting call and you know they ship at least that volume. Next, we're gonna work on building rapport, being conversational, and really listening to what they are saying. Try to relax. Don't feel rushed to say everything you want to in the first conversation or first call. You want to empathize with their objections and talk about as much non-business stuff as you can. Be yourself as much as possible. Next, we'll be asking operational questions. Now, not interrogating them by firing off question after question. Try to learn the basics of how they operate as a company. Who are their decision makers? How many loads per week this time of year are they shipping? Is this the busy season? Is this their slow season? Which lanes do they ship more frequently? What is their current mix of broker and asset companies that they work with? Have a list of these questions in front of you when you're dialing, right? You know, the questions I've just given you should give you a start, and from there, add additional questions to your list that you feel are a good fit for you conversationally, right? Now, we'll be uncovering challenges, issues, frustrations, or concerns. Now, I always take the positive approach to uncovering challenges. For instance, we all know Nate is a huge Buffalo Bills fan, right? Now, if I ask him, right, what he likes about the Buffalo Bills this year and their team's chances, he's going to have plenty of positive things to say. And I'm sure if I asked him what else he likes every time he finished enough times, he will eventually run out of positive things to say. And do you think he'll eventually tell me something he's unhappy about or a challenge that the team faces? He will. Everyone does. It's just human nature. And why do we suggest this approach over directly asking a prospect about their issues? The old, hey, what's going wrong? Is there anything I can help you with? What are your problems and your frustrations, right? Well, think about that. If somebody called you out of the blue that you've never spoken to before and just started asking about all of the things going wrong at your job, how would you feel about it? Right? Okay, so let's assume we now have a prospect we've spoken to a few times. We know they ship over 30 full truckloads a week and are currently using some brokers. They've expressed their frustrations about some difficult shipping lanes they have, and they said it's hard finding trucks last minute on some of their less frequent lanes. So what do we say now? Where does the conversation go? Next, challenge questions. Once you've isolated a frustration or something they care about, then you can now ask some of the following questions. How long has this been an issue? What have you done to resolve it? Did that work? Is this having an impact on your business? Ballpark, what do you think just this issue alone has cost your business over the last quarter? Now, if you noticed, these are all designed to highlight and add some color to, you guessed it, the challenges the prospect is facing. The more they are reliving and feeling them, the better. Which brings us to consequence questions. These are designed to highlight what would happen if the challenges you just discussed don't get addressed. The cost of doing nothing, or inaction, right? Remember, they need to be the consequences of the specific challenges the prospect is facing. It doesn't make any sense if you're asking them consequences to a challenge that they don't have. So, what do these do to your customer schedule when you've got to push the deliveries back? What happens when carriers don't let you know that they're going to be late or they're having an issue? Are you personally held responsible for the trucks that you book on your loads? What would happen if you were unable to find a truck during your busy season? If your current carriers continue to deliver late, how would that impact your business and your customers? How would it affect you personally? Now that we've brought the prospect to a place where they feel the consequences of these challenges and frustrations, the next step is to present a solution. And this shouldn't be forced. It really should feel like it's a natural progression of your conversation. For example, hey Jimmy, if I'm hearing you right, not only are these late and missed pickups affecting your customers and your company's reputation, but you're also personally losing your monthly bonus because it's one of your key performance indicators? Wow. Long pause. Now, if we could demonstrate better on-time percentages and improve communication, would you be willing to give us an opportunity to move, we'll say, a trial shipment? Then I say nothing. Silence until the other person speaks. That's it. This is the path that just about every prospect will follow more or less. Some will be faster, some it will take longer. You might be achieving this over 4 to 6 calls. Larger prospects and larger shippers usually have longer sales cycles. We'll say 12 to 14 calls and discussions, right? The average touches it takes to turn a prospect into an active customer is between 8 and 12 over a period of 1 to 3 months. The Walmarts and the Targets of the world are going to be closer to a year and a half sales cycle, maybe even longer. For more tips and training, be sure to watch our weekly podcast and our channel. Check out the description box for links on group and private coaching. Because remember, whether you believe you can or believe you can't, you're right.